I'm George Whipple, head of employee recognition and alumni relations here at Credit Suisse. It's my great honor to have with me the 66th Secretary of State of the United States of America, Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza, welcome to Credit Suisse. You've got a new book out. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Well, I have a new book out called Extraordinary Ordinary People, and it's about my family. I wanted very much, when people always ask me, how did you become who you are? I said, you had to know John and Angelina Rice. And so this talks about my story of family and faith and education, and parents who had limitless horizons for their little girl and had their kid absolutely convinced that she might not be able to have a hamburger at a Woolworth's lunch counter in segregated Birmingham, Alabama, but she could be President of the United States if she wanted to be.
Why didn't you write a traditional Secretary of State memoir?
Well, I will most certainly write the foreign policy memoir, what the last 8 years have meant for American foreign policy. But I wanted first to tell people a little bit about who I came to be, who I am, to tell what I think is really an essentially American story of quite ordinary people. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a high school guidance counselor and a Presbyterian minister, eventually a university administrator. And yet these ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances of Jim Crow Birmingham, segregation, you couldn't go to a hotel, you couldn't go to a movie theater, and yet somehow they communicated that the horizons were limitless. And it wasn't just my parents and me, we had a whole community like that. So I think it's a distinctly American story of coming from humble circumstances and being expected to do great things.
Pamela Thomas Graham, Tina Brown, the Daily Beast, Credit Suisse Speaker Series. What was this audience like for you? What did it mean to be here?
It's a wonderful audience. It's a group of people who have achieved themselves, but who give back. I know all of these folks as people who care about this country and this world. I sat next to Joel Klein, the Chancellor of the New York Public Schools here, really crusader for our children to have a good education. Sat across from my good friend Skip Gates, professor at Harvard. It's really very wonderful to be here, and I'm so grateful to Credit Suisse and to the Daily Beast for making this opportunity.
Well, the Daily Beast, Credit Suisse Speaker Series, one of the ways that Credit Suisse is becoming the world's most admired bank. For Credit Suisse, I'm George Whipple.